Well, I'll come down to the Regency Hotel. With me is Mark Rowland, who's been over on the Isle of Man recently for the Isle of Media event. But also, you've been very much filming here.
We have indeed.
And we caught up with your star a few weeks ago in that big blow-up tent.
Yeah, well, look, thank you to everybody on the island who came along. And we were very lucky that we got, I think, a really super August evening. But also that we had a terrific 2 weeks filming 2 of the 12 episodes of Lawrence of Suburbia that we're in the process of shooting at the moment. And producing from Format Zone Isle of Man, which is a new company that we've established on the island. And we put together a terrific team of people, I think 36 in all, who are working with us and are now part of the team that are working with us across the UK.
That's a great news story, in a sense, good news story, that you found local people that could actually get into this business, right, as well?
Absolutely, and at the moment, the team that we're putting here together long term, we've selected from the best upcoming talent who work with us on that. But, you know, to be honest, everybody who worked on Lawrence of Suburbia, and the sounds cliche, was a star, but you need to understand that if you're doing a home makeover programme with Lawrence Llewelyn-Bowen, who is quite correctly demanding of high standards from everybody, it's an arena where you kind of need to show your best on day one, because, you know, Lawrence is going to stick around if there's a problem. But also the show, which you'll be able to see next year and is distributed internationally by Sky Vision and has a lot of UK interest, actually combines a makeover, so renovating a house, with an event, which is what we staged on the seafront here, but also telling a huge amount of the story of the place where we are. So across the time we were filming on the island, we actually ended up telling the story of Mutiny on the Bounty, which became one of the inspirations of the makeover, which told me stuff that I had absolutely never known before, that 2 of the mutineers came from the island. And they had links through to the house that we did. And then in the second story that we did here, we tell the story of Archibald Knox. And it's absolutely fascinating how in the Manx Museum there are literally Archibald Knox designs that right now make you go, do you know what, I've got wallpaper like that. And that's exactly the reaction you want to have, but how fascinating to have all those things in. I don't want to give too much away, but for those people who feel that might make it rather more serious than some of the things Lawrence has done in the past, don't worry, because we also see him on the prow of a ship. Where else could he have possibly been for Mutiny on the Bounty, and in his own particular style, kind of recreating elements of Game of Thrones.
Right.
I'll say no more than that.
I've seen the sort of clip you showed us the other night. Yeah. It's very, yes.
So,
very,
but you know, it's been terrific. But it's terrific because, you know, it's an effortless way to talk about the island. Right. Because it genuinely comes from the story and the atmosphere.
Let's get on with that, because first of all, your pedigree. You've done a nanny show or 2. You've also done Robot Wars.
Yeah. My TV pedigree is kind of varied and possibly a bit bonkers, on the basis that you know, I'm known for things that range from Robot Wars to Super Nanny. Quite whether there was really a show that could have brought the 2 together, I don't know. But basically, yes. And I think the common denominator is finding things where they have the opportunity to go worldwide, because they tap into either innovation, which is where Robot Wars kicked off, as well as the fun of seeing metal machines bang into each other and so forth. And then Super Nanny, which is actually about you know, it's a piece of factual entertainment, but it also drives to the heart of information people can use. Right.
And that was format sold, and you know, the international, the American one was particularly very lucrative, I'm sure, for you. And
yeah, I mean, I got involved with it after it had started in the UK. And there'd been, I think, 3 episodes in the UK. And then we sold it in the States, and we ended up making 107 primetime episodes.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Right. So, you know, you actually find with something like that, because of the way that television has gone, that, you know, there really isn't probably a day that goes by where Super Nanny USA isn't playing somewhere. Yeah. And that actually tells you a lot about the way the industry's gone, because you're dealing with an industry where something might have gone out once or twice, or been repeated for a couple of years. And now you're probably in a market where anything that's appeared on television that's been reasonably good is probably on or available on video on demand now.
Yeah. Isle of Man.
Yes.
you got very excited, you spoke very passionately about the Isle of Man and the potential, not the cinema now so much, that's old news. It is a TV slash, because I think you said if it ends up on the screen in your living room, be it a film anyway, or whatever, it's a living room experience, and the way the on-demand services are coming along. Is there a niche there for the Isle of Man? I mean, because we had all that big thing and it all disappeared.
Look, I think two things. I think at the moment there absolutely is, because the Isle of Man is an international centre. So across every line of business, the Isle of Man looks at opportunities where the Isle of Man can be an international, neutral hub where people come to do business with the world. Right. That is entirely the marketplace that what I make operates in. So I don't think about an idea or a proposition unless it can travel globally. So just briefly going on to Suburbia, our main partners are Sky Vision, the international distribution arm of Sky, who see this as a show which is for every broadcaster, because that is the market that we're in. So I think the Isle of Man has a really strong position in that market, because actually the financial smarts on the island are a really important part of it. I think at the same stage, the legacy of the film industry means that you've got a film tradition. What you actually haven't got is the continuing type of brands that television is all about. If somebody says to me, how do you think of a new idea or a format? The really important thing is, don't even think about it unless you can imagine it in season 3. There's no point starting something where if somebody said to you, what would this show look like in 3 years' time? You go, I really don't think it's got that sort of legs. I can see a couple of them, or maybe one season. Okay, fine. In my world of television, don't start on it.
Yeah.
Now, going back to helping build an infrastructure on the island, but most important at the moment, building Format Zone Isle of Man. Everything that we're doing is about trying to find propositions that run for multiple seasons, and that allows you to build a proper hub, and also to utilise lots of talent, and also, although obviously there are specialisms in every sector, reality entertainment formats can actually bring through new talent, because you can train people on them perhaps more easily than you can on very high-end features. So what we're trying to do is find sustaining business, long-running series that naturally fit with a business environment where building an international brand and selling it around the world is kind of naturally what you can do.
So the Isle of Man gives you the right tax breaks, it gives you that sort of thing. New producers go wherever you're going to get the best bang for your money, right?
I think it gives all of those opportunities. But I think the thing that is smashing about what we've been doing in the last few months is, as I say, when we started Lawrence of Suburbia as a production here, and that's not just for the production here, the team here are running the production around the country. I didn't genuinely know who we'd find, and as I say, we've made 2 cracking shows here. We have the show at the moment in production all over the UK, now with a considerably Isle of Man set of people involved in it, and they're absolutely fantastic. And I think they're particularly fantastic when you look at the young talent coming through. And to some extent, the legacy of the feature film industry means that some of the people that we were then bringing in at sort of encouraging at research and assistant producer level had experience as runners on feature films. Mm-hmm. But a feature film is a big thing that makes a noise and comes and goes.
Yes.
Television isn't. Television at its best is a kind of long-running thing.
Yeah.
And so if I look at the things that I've personally been involved in, I mean, Robot Wars was invented 20 years ago. And on my office wall, I actually have, which I rather like, the turn-down letter from Channel 4 when I first sent it to them, going, "Dear Mark, I'm sorry to say we see no future in robots fighting."
Oh, how funny.
Great. Everybody has stories like that, but I've got the letter. But, going to where we are now, 20 years later, even though I'm no longer involved in it, it's enjoyed new life on the BBC around the world. So you get these propositions right. Super Nanny, another one. You get these propositions right, and they become long-running sustainable business opportunities, at which point all the incentives that have been great, and I mean I couldn't be more grateful to the DED and the Isle of Media, and also Descartes have been incredibly helpful as a company putting together all the structures for Format Zone Isle of Man. But what we're trying to do, which is what any good business should do, is use this first product to build a long-running line of those products and use that to put other products in place. And that's our ambition.
Well, I'm glad you had time to talk to us today, because he's literally gone from meeting to meeting, I think, talking to everybody here on the Isle of Man. But you've had a good time here.
Terrific, and and at the moment I've been here a lot, and I want to be here more, and I kind of like the determination of everybody I see on the island. And I think in business and perhaps in life, you're either somebody who feels like you're a big corporate player, or you rather like being a bit of a guerrilla army, taking opportunities where you find them. And I think, I don't know whether that's a correct characterisation of the spirit of the island, but I identify with people who are very entrepreneurial.
It's going to be fascinating to watch this ride, to see where it goes to. And do come back and we'll talk again, yeah?
Thank you very much, Paul.